So I was feeling really lazy and I couldn't think of any games to make. But then I realized, why make my own original games when I can just rip off my friends' games? So welcome to the first episode of ripping off my friends' games for my own monetary gain. But who should I plagiarize first? Oh, I know.
Okay, who are you and why are you in my house?
Hey Nate, can I completely rip off Alette for a video?
What? No, I've been working so hard on it. Refactoring takes a lot of time, you know. And not to mention the art, which I really need to redo because it's still the same art pretty much from when I first started it, and it's really just...
Alright, bye. I'm sure you won't mind. So Nate actually linked the source code of Alette in the description of his video, so I'm just gonna... And would you look at that, I'm all done. Just kidding, this video is called Remaking N8Dev's game, and stealing source code isn't remaking. The original Alette is 2D and made with some isometric vector art, but I decided I wanted to make it 3D because I thought it would look cool and not because I thought the movement would be easier to make. And since I hate myself, I did it in 24 hours. First I made the player model by adding a cube and making a wireframe of it in Blender. Then I gave it some really ugly colors and made a new sky so it had better lighting. Next I made a player movement script that gets the player's current position and adds the direction you want to move to it, then it uses a tween to move the player there. The problem with this is that in the original Alette, the player moves diagonally, while in this one the player moves straight on the X and Z axis. To fix this, I took the camera and rotated it. Next it's collision. I made a really bad looking tile map and tried setting up collision. The collision took me about an hour, and the reason for that was because I forgot to divide a single number by 4. Yup. Next I decided to work on some art because it looks really bad right now and it's been really hard to not completely delete it from existence because of how ugly it looks. I added a cube, snipped some parts out, colored it, and hey, look at that, we got a ground tile. It looks pretty good, as long as you don't turn them around. Next I set them up with a grid map and made the game isometric, and it works perfectly. Give me a sec. Next I tried to set up some fancier lighting, and that was a mistake. I also made it so when you try to move into a tile you can't, it shakes the screen. Then I added some of the other ground tiles. The whole point of Alette is when you touch a spike, it splits your player into 2 smaller players that can go over these small player tiles, and they can combine together to make one big player that can go over the big player tiles. I added a zooming out animation for when the level starts, and I now have the small player here, but something doesn't feel right. As I said before, in Alette, when 2 smaller players touch each other, they're supposed to merge into a big player, and that's not what's happening here. They're both going into the same place but not merging, just overlapping each other. Luckily this part should be really easy to do. Emphasis on should be. Frick. Once I thought I had it figured out, I added some particles to the end of the level that look really close to the ones in the original game. Then I started work on splitting, and guess what happened? Fun. Once I finally fixed that, I started on some level design. I only did a few levels cause level design takes a while, but that still gets the point across that my game is far superior to Nate's, right? Next I needed some sound, so I stole the music from Alette with Asset Studio and put it into my game, and then I decided to try and make my own sound effects. The way I make sound effects is I make weird mouth sounds and edit them until they sound good. Wrong kind of mouth sounds. This kind. What? What? And finally I set up a title, windscreen, and an itch page because Nate said I can. What a nice guy. I almost feel bad about replacing him. Oh wait, I know what to do. I'll just play it off as a funny joke and create a YouTube series called Ripping Off My Friends at Games for my own monetary gain or something like that, and then call the game something like a shameless ripoff of Alette to hide the fact my original plan was to replace Nate. Of course. Nate, it was all just a joke, don't worry about it.
I'm calling the police.
No.
Fair enough, have a nice day.
Alright, bye. Thanks for watching. I made it to 65 subscribers, so it's time for a left-hand reveal. What? I seem to have misplaced it. At 100 subscribers, I'm literally gonna do the sponge, so be ready for that. The game and Nate's YouTube channel are both linked in the description. Bye. I've been looking for my left hand for the past hour or so. The only place I've left to look is bed. There you are.